This is Mason with another episode of BMBR. I believe this is episode 4. So for today, I got another one for you. This is the memoirs of Richard Nixon. I know it's upside down for you guys, and I'm sorry about that. But to start it off, it's a pretty good read. And what I mean by this is that, when you're reading through it, I've only really skimmed through it right now. Like, I would take it apart, and then I would, go through it, read it, check it out, see what it had to, see what it was about, like the underlying tones, that type of stuff, and then I would just go to the next part. Usually with these books, because I try and get through a lot of different books, I'll only read like 2 of the chapters out of the book, and it is like the important chapters. Like, I'll go in the front and I'll be like, alright, let's pick out the 2 important chapters. That way I get the good ideas out of the book and can get the good ideas out of the next book. Because there's a lot of there's a similar theme throughout the entire book, right? Like, there's the similar concepts throughout the entire book. And that's what I'm going for. And also, I'm just trying it out, and it seems to be working. So I have this one here. So it just talks about, the majority of the memoirs of Richard Nixon. It is entirely, it's not unemotional, but it's very political. And what I mean by this is that, it's about 1,000 pages long, and, I went to, I just flipped to the page, and it was already into politics, and this would have been, the 50s to 100s that I first flipped to, and it was already into politics. So, yeah, politics were definitely a part of this guy's life. I don't know if you guys know about, the incidents that went on, but basically, one idea that he had was there was, an FBI investigation going on during his presidency. And he was like, well, if we limit the FBI investigation, it will help with the nominations. And literally, I think they just brought it up, as far as I know, as far as I read, they never actually went through with it. But just the very action of saying that, and it was on tape, just the very action of saying that and bringing it up as a possibility was enough to, burn him, and he had to resign. Obviously, there was a Watergate, which is a whole other thing, and when I was reading this, it was just mentioned. It didn't really go in depth on anything involving the big Watergate, as we all know it, in terms of the memoir. So, perhaps I missed out, and I missed a chapter that literally went into Watergate, and that is something that you guys could do yourself. But the primary reason that is stressed here is that he brought up the possibility of, halting an FBI investigation to aid in politics. And it was literally just, when you're talking politics and when this stuff is, being discussed, it is very much, it's a good way to word this, it is very much the etiquette is there, but it's all about Democrats versus Republicans. It's all about, how am I going to get elected, who has control over the media, this type of stuff. Early on, it talks about John F. Kennedy, or the Kennedy family, and Richard Nixon's yeah, I made a vow with myself to never ever go against the Kennedys in an election again, because of the extreme disadvantage I would have and the extreme advantage they have. because the Kennedys correlate or aligned with the media. They had a lot of money. They had all these things that allowed them to wrap in. So the media is just such a big and crucial thing for being elected, and it really didn't even seem to go about the facts of each side. Like when I was reading, Roosevelt's autobiography, it went into the fact of the machine. Like, it went into the part of once a candidate is hired or elected into the candidacy of, being represented in the House or whatever, they had the option of being in the machine, which worked together to work with the big businesses. And Kennedy said that was about a third of the people, of the senators, and the other 2/3 were genuine people. But involving Nixon, it really did seem to be about the amount of power you had over the medias, and over this it was much more of a strategic moves throughout the entire part, and not very much about the honesty of men. Because like with the Roosevelt administration, what I got from it is that once you were in, like, you had to get in first, and then you could be a part of the machine, right? But with Nixon, it really just seemed to be the media had such a big control, and there were other large factors that really just seemed to control the populace. Like, if you had this, the populace just seemed to go with you, or something like that, is what I got from Nixon versus the Kennedys. Let's see here. So, yeah, obviously it talks about, so like the Vietnam War was going on, and Nixon was in the war, obviously, and he was president during the war. And he said there was one really big thing. Oh, yeah, okay. So it was like Nixon knew about, the people that didn't want the war. And he got that, and he understood that. And the big discrepancy that he had with the whole ordeal is that you have countries, right? And every country is working for their own advantage. So if you act like you're weak, or you act like you're wishy-washy, countries are obviously going to take advantage of that, which is what they should do. It talks about that with communist Russia, which was at the time the Soviet Union. It talks about that with any country, and it talks about it like it's logical and like it makes sense. But at the same time, the U.S. is also going to do that, right? Because that's what makes sense. So yeah, it talks about that you have to keep, like, the right ego, in a way, of your country, so that the other countries don't take advantage of your wishy-washy decision making, which I found to be interesting and kind of correlates to, like, people. Because, sometimes whether people know they're taking advantage of you or not, if you don't know what to do, their interest is still going to be in their mind, and it can either just naturally or unnaturally come across and can affect you. So what Nixon was like is he's like, well, we're in Vietnam, and if I back out now, it's going to leave a bad rep in terms of the power that the United States has as a country to remain unified and to carry out its war. And it was like, we started this war, I'm not going to finish it, and it was to maintain the United States reputation, is a good way of putting it. So I got another quote here. Oh, yeah. So, where should I even start this? I mean, there's a guy named Ellsberg, and you know, it's hard for the public to understand why the government has to do what it does. Like Ellsberg basically went against the government and released government information, and the people like that. But like there was a reason that the government did what it did. So what I'm trying to get at is that the government has a reputation to maintain with other countries, and if it's seen as weak, then the countries will take advantage of that, right? But then you have people like Ellsberg that are all about releasing the government's secrets. And the thing is that if you have people that do that, right, then the government obviously can't maintain its secrecy, which is a bad thing to have other countries know. Like to be a government, you have to do things in secret if you need to with other countries and all this type of stuff. So I just thought that was interesting. Here we go. So this I found to be interesting. I have carefully studied your important message of this evening. I agree with you that our understanding to act jointly for peace is of its highest value, and that we should implement your understanding in this complex situation. I must tell you, however, that your proposal for a particular kind of joint action, that is of sending Soviet and American military contingents to Europe, is not appropriate in the present circumstances. So like they talk with utmost etiquette, but they're at war. And it's just such an interesting dichotomy of enemies at their present disadvantage still talking in this sort of way. And they just talk with the utmost etiquette, but also, with their intent in mind. This was a diary from, I believe it was just from Nixon, but there is nitpicking to the effect that it was not as successful as the other two. The main thing is that the process went forward, and this is in itself an achievement. Peace is never going to be achieved once and for all. It must constantly be worked on. That's why these continuing summits between major powers must go forward, even though we don't have great announcements to make after each one. So I like that one because, obviously it relates to the countries and all that type of stuff, but it goes into real life too. Like, I'm not sure if peace is never going to be achieved once and for all is an 100% fact for people. Like you can never be truly peaceful. I don't know if that's, I'm not going to delve into that. Because that's something totally different. Also, sorry about the cats; they're being really loud. But what I think is interesting is that with people, like peace needs to be maintained, right? Like you have to maintain peace in order to allow it to flourish, and if you aren't constantly maintaining it through your actions and through like your intents, then it falls apart. So I mean, I was at work today. I work at Walmart, And basically, what happened is that, I'd worked 1 o'clock until 1 o'clock last night, like 1 a.m. And when I got there today, I was tired. Um, but I was still doing my job, right? Like, even though I'm tired, I'm still gonna do my job, and I still did my job. But like, I wasn't as social as I normally was, and I think people picked up on that. Like, the really interesting thing about Walmart is that, like, you're around people to the point that you're all around each other, that you know each other, but you all have your own lives. So, like, if someone has something that's going on, like, they might be sad, but they also might not want you to talk to them. And it's such an interesting thing that it feels so weird, but it also makes sense. Like, you'll just walk by someone and you'll be like, I know not to mess with them, and you be nice. Like, you follow the etiquette, and I don't want to say you keep your guard up, but you do. Like, you do. Because it's like you keep your guard up, but you're still treating them like you would another country. You're still treating them with, like, that type of respect and understanding. But you're also ready to, like, do what you gotta do. And it sounds like a really weird thing to say, but that's what it is. And, like, I've tried to get friendships there, but it's weird. Like, friendships around work are not the same. And, yeah. So, like, what I'm trying to allude to is that, we got to stack up pallets at Walmart because you get in so much stuff every day. And when I was there, um, you know, the person that I was working with, their pallets were getting high, so I brought up theirs, and I was bringing out mine, or whatever. Um, and I was bringing out a bunch of people's pallets, and I was just like, I was really minding my own. Like, I wasn't really looking at anyone else. I was just doing my job. I wasn't talking to anyone else. It's not like I wasn't being friendly, but I also wasn't actively talking. And, I like, wasn't following the protocol for what they do or what they had in mind. Because you're supposed to stay on the truck. You're supposed to stay on the truck. But they also have, like, the rule, like, you gotta only allow your pallets to be so high, right? Otherwise, they fall. So, it was like, I didn't know that you were supposed to stay on the truck the entire time. Or that someone else was going to get me a pallet. Because someone else, no one had ever done that before. No one had ever gotten me a pallet before. It was always my job. So I actually thought I was going, like, out of my way to be nice. Like, I was contributing to the group because I wasn't busy, so I was doing stuff that other people needed to be done. But, like, what I'm trying to get at is that even though you do something a certain way, if you don't have, like, even if you do something with the right intent, or with your intent, they may not interpret it the way that you meant it. And they could really be mean about it. Because, I wasn't being friendly to them. I wasn't being mean or nice to them. I was just doing my job, right? Yeah. It was interesting. You know, yeah. All right, hello. Last one for today. Where I was going with that whole thing is that really, regardless of whatever the people are doing, you can't let that affect your um, like genuine uh, care about the work, because if that goes away, then you lose the integrity of yourself, and you don't really know what you're doing there either. Look at how I thought I looked tired, but yeah, I look tired. Okay. But yeah, so just like maintaining that is really what it's all about. So, and obviously the reason for that is because that's why you're there. So if that reason is there, and then you're maintaining the proper etiquettes for people, stuff can compound off of that. But that's still what's keeping y'all there. You know, don't go around killing each other. But yeah, Richard Nixon is pretty. Oh, look at those colors. That's pretty neat. Richard Nixon is a nice guy, decent guy. Um, Political. You know, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he really tries to. He was a survivalist for his country. He was looking out for his country, and he spoke in the etiquette. And you know, when people are always talking, you know, with that such high um, extent, it's just all about the power, man. And you know, when I look at my own life, I'm like, you know, I'm happy. Like, in terms of thinking about what's going on, obviously, I'm human, so I'm not always gonna have the best happiness all the time. But it's like with Republicans and the Democrats and all that stuff, it's all about maintaining the power, and that's always a constant war because there ain't no sleep. But here, like, you know, once you're able to recognize the life that you have, you can. And you can sleep with all the things that are in you that you know you're actively actively a part of, and it's really neat. Um, but yeah, you guys have a nice week or 2 weeks. Hello, it's Mace, and this is in addition to the Richard Nixon clip. I know this is really long, and oh wow. Oh, okay. I just got copyrighted for my video that I was gonna make. So good thing that I found this here. Anyways, I can change this really quick. What I wanted to say is so 24.95, 24.25, 24.35. I don't know how they do that so easily. All right, so we're gonna go. $24.22. Trim. Done. Alright, just give me a sec. I'll be playing like a Fortnite clip or something. Chill. So that would be 24. Oh, I just trimmed the video. Dang it. Okay, well, I know how long it is. So I gotta split this. No, I'm gonna undo that. So it was. I'm gonna write down some math here quick. So we're at 10. So we need to go 15 seconds in. Right. This is kind of funny. So I got banned for a copyright issue. Oh, it's just like it cannot be monetized. I don't even know if I don't really care about monetization. But I can still premiere. Because I'll be playing, if I need it, I can just play a song. All right. I need to blow it up. So, I was at Walmart today, and this place, it continues to surprise me. And by surprise, I don't mean like, the normal surprise. I mean, it just like affects your subconscious, Like, the way that people talk is just, it's in a way, it's very pure, and it's very much like family-like, even with someone that you don't really even know. Like, some of these people, the way that they were having talks, it was like, I don't think I would ever have this talk with this type of person. Even with someone that's in my family, unless, like, they were dying, like, on their deathbed, you know? So I just found that to be, it's just, it's just really a different thing, like, Like I know how you talk about the like the that aggression that's in you to like live, and like obviously you got to be aggressive to like do stuff and accomplish stuff, and um of this sort of thing. But when you're there, it's just totally different. Like they just speak in a sort of way where it's like what they're saying, it's not even like they're afraid to say it or there's an aggressive to say it. It just really isn't a part of the picture. It's just like it's just human. Like it's just something human, and it's really it's something that I'm not used to doing, especially online. So I'm not going to be talking like that here, especially with people that I don't know. And when it's going on, I'm mainly just listening, because like I just am starting to you know break into that whatever they're doing. So it's like when they I think the best way to explain it from this point of view is when they're talking, like it's just what they want to say is just said, and it's said in a way that's like it's not even family like, and it's not like it's a pain, but it really just is like a shared emotion that isn't stemmed from aggression. It isn't stemmed from I've known you for a while and now I'm able to spill the beans. It's not like that at all. Like there really isn't that deep amount of trust necessary here. It's really just like, I'm not in danger. So now that I'm not in danger, I'm gonna spill. Or like now that I'm not in danger, I'm gonna, you know, say what I want to say, and just it really is. It's like therapy. Like if you were to go to a therapist, it would be like that, and it would be just everyone sharing what happened to them, and then like that's it. Like there is no rush, like you're not really bound by like something like a business or like a priority, because like when a priority pops up, like it's just naturally important, like it's just recognized, and like there really isn't, because with Walmart especially, like you're helping out people, like you're going in and like your whole purpose is to help out each other. So like when a customer comes up, it's not like it's that big of a deal, because you're not leaving you're not leaving your conscious anywhere. Like you're not having to, like um, put on a show or anything like that. On the flip side, though, when it comes to something like wanting a raise or something like that, it doesn't stem from the same place that like aggression would. Like aggression's like, this is the work that I put in, so I get this and it makes sense. But like this is like, your higher ups are your higher ups and they have control. And it's not even like, you can't think of it like an aggression control. It's like you are spilling what you want, and then whether or not you get it is just kind of like, it's like it would just be another story. So, like, it was so weird. Like, people, the way they talked, and I say weird because it's just not something that I'm used to, but it makes sense when you're doing it. And it's really just like people don't like there's really no boundary, you know? Like people just say whatever they want to say and that emotion is just recognized. And it comes from a place of pain, but at the same time, like it's so natural to the point where it's so it's so natural that it's like how could this not make sense? It's it's like that. Um, and what I mean by that is it's not like the whole entire time you're complaining. Like when you're there, it's just this sense of we're all just here and if you want to spill, you spill. And it's not like it comes from a plate. Like there's different types of spills, which is what I'm trying to get into is like there's the spill of like oh my gosh, dude, like oh my gosh. Like that sort of impatient stemming from like the aggression of expecting something because it's happened before and then it's like that. And that just is such a um, direct. I guess that's a good way to put it. It's such a. It comes from like such a. It comes from really just a natural found, like impatient. It's like your instinct has brought you to that point of where you expect something and then you're just complaining because you didn't get it when your brain wanted it. It's like that versus the other way, which is like that, just that deep aggressive pit isn't a part of it. And it's weird. It's really weird to put it. And I'm not saying that it's like the right way to do something, but it definitely was. Um, it just opened my eyes to like how much my like problems really. And it sounds so cliche, but like the fundamentals are what you gotta know. Like it just opened my eyes up to how big my ego is. Like even now, like I have an ego, you know? And I find it for me specifically it's tricky to get rid of because there's a lot of things that I want to do and I'm not in the moment like that. Like I'm in the moment from the stuff that I need to do and I have that natural drive to do that. And you definitely need that. But this is just something completely different. And it's just something, it's just healing. Like, it's like, you're heard even if, like, I felt heard and I barely talked. I felt heard even when, like, I wasn't speaking. And even when they were talking about their own story. It was like, just it was a part of their time was this. And nothing really else was going through their head. So, dude, I got this thing on my leg and it's hurting. But like one weird thing that I came across is like I get this nail that that like kind of digs into my toe and it hurts and it's painful. And when I was driving back from work, just after this had happened, it wasn't painful. Like it Here's the thing is that it was, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it usually is. It was like ah, dude, there's that hangnail again, like, you know. But like that aggressive like thing wasn't there. Like my being was just focused on the group, and like since I was recognized in that group, I was like, well, I gotta trim it, but like I'll be fine, you know. So it's really easy for me to get into the negatives of it. So I'm just gonna say what I noticed right away, which is that they don't really like every single like most of the people that are there. It doesn't seem like they know how to get out. Like they all have circles under their eyes, and they all have some sort of not all of them, but like their skin isn't super healthy, and they got a lot of things that are going on, like whether that be insomnia or um, like something like that, like a big thing that's going on. And I don't think they can get out. All right, I'm gonna grab you. All right. So where I'm going with this is that it took me so long to get to where I am, which was a state of, I'm independent. Like, my life is not in my control, but it's my responsibility. Excuse me. Should I live stream on here? The answer is definitely no. Alright. So, like I'm tired, I'm zoned. But imagine, like, this aggression that you have for life. And its core, it really protects you. You know? Like, it protects you. But if it isn't at the bottom, then it's somewhere else. And if it's somewhere else, that usually means that, that aggression comes in other places. I'm kind of speaking hypothetically, but I'm also kind of speaking like it makes sense, because it does. So the best way to put it is that imagine there's a place where everything that you do is just acknowledged because it's a feeling, right? So all of the feelings that you have are just acknowledged in this homey sort of way. Like, yep, that makes sense. I would do that, because it's like a human feeling. And it's just any human feeling that you... Oh, dude, I'm finally burping. I could not burp since I was like when I was, let's see, probably 0 to 19 or 18. I could not burp. But now I can burp just fine. So, yeah. One second. Thought I heard something. So, what I'm getting at here is that, like, imagine any feeling you have is just completely accepted. And it's just completely acknowledged, but it's acknowledged, like, that feeling is acknowledged. And it's like, there's a humor behind it. And... Oh, I just farted on video. Oh. It's just like, the reason that it's humorous is because everything is funny. Like, nothing is an invasion of the other person. Like, within retrospect. Like, obviously, if you're gonna punch him in the face and you have that aggression in your eyes, then there's gonna be that problem there. But like, it does not occur. Like, it's not even a thought that goes through when you're in this place. And it's such an interesting thing. So it's like that like, I think that farther down you go, the more of it becomes funny, because like the more, I don't want to call it the more insecure you are, but the more invested you are into this type of way of being. Because it's like in a place of pure, like, survivalistic standpoint, where you gotta be aggressive to live. Like, nothing, like, you are just aggressive, right? And then obviously, like, when feelings come along, there's that, oh, what's up, default? Whoa. I just got onto Fortnite. I might actually use this for the video. Because, like, why not? I need Fortnite. I need a lot. Definitely not going to do I don't have a video cam for this, obviously. So, oh yeah, also, I know that the Fortnite recorded last video, or in an upcoming video. No, it'd be in the last one. This isn't Richard. Is this Richard Nixon? Dude, Richard Nixon just happened. I would have to add this to today's video, which I could do. It wouldn't be that hard. I might actually do that. Yeah. We'll see how much time we got. Dude, there's just so many defaults. Like, I just love playing Fortnite as a pure default is just so much fun. Because, like, you're literally, it's just like a conversation. Like, it's, you know, like, when I'm, yeah, it's so, this is so nice. So where I was going with this is, like, the more comfortable you are in it, obviously, like, the deeper down you are, the more feelings that are in it, then, like, the more things can be funny, because that feeling... Oh, this guy actually placed the wall. Okay. You better not open that wall, buddy. I'm gonna headshot you. I hit him for a little bit. This guy got a half pot and like a shield and all this stuff, and I'm out of here. Oh, he's fighting me. He's getting all aggressive on me, dude. Dude, this guy has the edits too. Like, he's just overthinking it so much. And it's like, bro, I let him kill me. He was at 23 HP. But like, it's chill. It's chill. It's chill. I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. And it's like to really be in that place too. All of your feelings are just there. And it's like, you know, maybe they sense something that I don't sense, which is that, like, I wasn't trying to be threatening to anyone, but, like, I was definitely in that aggressive go-go phase. So, I think either they sensed something that I wasn't going to attack them, or they just didn't care. You know, I haven't thought a lot, like, super in depth into this. I'm just kind of saying it as I go right now, which is, you know, how I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I mean, sorry that this Fortnite gameplay is not going to be on track with my speaking. I need to use the lavatory pretty soon, so when I get back, I will put it on track. That way it will be on track. Anyways, so it's like, yeah, they were just speaking from that tone, and then if they felt, like, if you feel some sort of aggression, like, the first thing that comes into your head is fear. Like, because I was there for a while, and, like, if you feel threatened, like, you're looking for that fear, and if it gets to be too much, then you kind of bolt. Because, like, you're not in that place of attack. You're in that place of spilling, and you're in that place of just, I don't want to say calmness, but, like, It really is it is calmness. Like, come on. So like, you're not in that attack phase. You are in that complete opposite of that. I'm gonna try and no scope this guy coming through the door. So yeah, that's really what it is, like the complete opposite of it. The complete opposite of, like, I don't want to say the complete opposite of like aggression, because like that part of you is still recognized, but like that, the actual present feeling, it can be like this shared feeling of wanting to do something that has aggressive qualities, but at the same time, it is not an aggressive thing that is recognized. Dude, you guys are gonna like this. I'm playing in a bot lobby. Yes. All right, I will be back. Okay. Clicking full screen. So if it's off by like a couple seconds, then it's not even gonna be. It'll be off by like a mil. Oh, well, we're not in too good a shape here. Oh, we're dead. Okay, well. This ain't too good. I got some shotgun ammo to my name. Great. Man, it's been a day. It's been a day. Tell you that much. But it's been, it's been a good day, obviously. And a decent day. So, going back to where we were. I think I said it pretty good. It's like, there really is no aggression. All the feelings that are there are recognized, and yeah, and it's like, if you feel threatened, then you feel threatened, but like, they can't, this type of thing doesn't happen with everyone. Like, I think the reason that it's able to happen when I'm present is because, I also am a part of it. Like, it's not like I'm being so invasive to the point that they feel threatened, obviously. So it's really just, I don't want to do Stark. Come on, that's way too, no. It's really just, everyone is a part of the same group, and people share what they want to share, and, here's a good thing. Any alteration or any caveat that you go into, like, people relate to. It's like, oh, relate, because it's like, it's just a part of being human. So like, you could have, obviously the go-to is like, oh, a meth addict, right? But it's like something like that, where it'd be like, you do something, and then it's a human thing for that person to do that. So it's just recognized. And often, like, the stupid things that you do are the funniest, because that other person's like, yeah, I would do that too. And it really, ultimately, you would do anything. Like, anyone would do anything, theoretically, in order to survive. So I think that's kind of where I'm able to connect with it, is because it's like I get that. I get that idea. And then from that, obviously, I'm able to get into that vibe and mindset. Not directly from there, but like, I get. It's not like it just directly comes from survival either, but like I think that's kind of where I logically pieced it together, even if it wasn't necessarily true for where that's coming from. But it's like every single emotion and every single caveat that one can experience, oftentimes the other person can relate to it directly and as a corresponding story. Or it's just like, yeah, like that makes sense. Like, I get that, bro. It's like that. And really, like, that is the gist of it. It's just very therapeutic and very unaggressive and really just very helpful. So, it's just, I feel thankful that I did that. But also, it's like, you can't stay there. Because if you stay there, like you want to keep where you want to be in mind. Because if every single thing this is just following the logical, whatever. But if everything that you do is accepted into this circle, then everything you do, you can kind of vibe with that group. Like it's acknowledged and it's accepted. Oh, they got the kill for that. That's fine. Just don't look at me. So it's kind of like, don't look at me, bro. This one guy's looking at me. Come on, dude. Dude, it's like dodgeball. Come on. What you got? The lone robot. All of his other robot buds took the L. Other than like the main robot. So bringing this to, oh, look at that. Bringing this to a realistic standpoint. In order to do things, you have to do the right thing. So, in order to live a certain type of life, you have to keep these chemicals in check. So, it's like the way that they live is largely still connected to that. Like, I look at the people and they got a slumped back. They eat whatever they want. They just do not care. you know? But it's like I'm emotionally looking out for myself. And like you'd think on the surface that would be enough, but it's not. You gotta look out for body. And it's just so funny. Like it's funny at the in the moment, like, oh, he's gonna eat. Like especially coming from my standpoint. Because I'm like, why, like eat some healthy food, and then they're like, no. And it's like, okay, like it's like that. And it's funny to me because like they just don't care, but like they're saying it in like an emotional way instead of from like a survivalistic standpoint. So anyways, moving on from this, I think one thing that a lot of people are stuck in nowadays, like especially with technology and how demanding society has become and how fast everything is that you just expect everything so quickly. And it's like, we're human, man. Like, you just gotta know that. And humans have a lot of feeling needs too. Like, you gotta feel included being a human too. And that takes a lot of time, but it's not wasted. Like, it feels it's very therapeutic, and I think it's pretty necessary. Like, it is. Like, if you're just stuck in that point of, like even from a societal standpoint, you aren't in danger. But you feel lonely, you aren't going to be looking very healthy. And this is just a truth. So it's really, obviously you need food to live, but you also like to have this, even if it isn't necessarily, I don't want to say as important. I just want to use a word completely different. Even if it isn't the same as food, it is still helpful for the soul. It's still very helpful for the soul, and it's something that should be used properly. If you use it too much, then, oh, I got these bots on me. Dude, the bots don't care about me, never mind. Dude, I honestly just want to keep driving around in this truck. It's like this. Like I'm just playing a game. And before, when I was playing it, I was so attached survivalistically wise. Instead of otherwise. But like even like I think one of the problems that I just thought of in my head was that like you need to have the things to feel sane. This is true for food, but like in terms of these emotional things, just talking about it with someone is really so healing. Um, and like it's tricky saying healing because it's not like you're being physically healed, and it's not like you're being, I don't know, it's just a very it's just its own type of thing, man. also, obviously keep the survivalist necessities in check, because this can go unchecked, because you can be in this place of comfortability until something pulls you out. And when something pulls you out, it's usually because there's a problem. So I recommend not waiting. Oh, come on, bring on the nades. Yes, this guy's gonna die. Please. Please die. Okay, now he's hit for a lot, but I don't break. Oh, no. Oh my gosh. Let me in. Oh, I'm okay. Dude, this was like a full-on war. Like, yeah. Just when someone plays with this amount of aggression, this is what pulls you into a weird phase of like literal survival, because like when you first get a game, you don't care. Like, it's fun, but like eventually, if you die, like you're so invested, because you just want to try a little bit harder to do better, that it's like if you die, it's bad. Like, crying, bad. So, I mean, I think I really got the gist of it. So I'm going to record a little bit of Fortnite so that I can re-upload this will probably be an hour 15 video. So, yeah. This will be with the Richard Nixon. Peace out.